When people first hear about the book Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed, they often think it's a self-help book. They expect advice, steps, maybe lessons about how to live better or be happier. But that expectation doesn't really fit what the book is doing. This book doesn't sit above you and tell you what to do. It sits beside you. It speaks in a human voice. It listens before it answers. And the way it explains its ideas is just as important as the ideas themselves. Tiny Beautiful Things is a collection of advice columns Strayed wrote under the name Dear Sugar. People wrote to her when they were lost, grieving, ashamed, angry, lonely, or afraid. They wrote when they didn't know how to leave, how to stay, how to forgive, or how to keep going. And instead of giving neat answers, Sugar responded with honesty, empathy, and stories, often her own. The book explains its ideas not by laying them out clearly at the start, but by letting them rise slowly from real human pain. It teaches by example. It shows what compassion looks like. It shows what truth sounds like. It shows how someone can sit with suffering without trying to erase it. From the very beginning, the book makes it clear that pain is not something to solve. Pain is something to face. This is one of the most important ideas in the book, and it's explained through tone more than words. Sugar never rushes people toward a happy ending. She doesn't promise that things will get better. Instead, she stays with them right where they are, in grief, in confusion, in regret. The reader learns, just by being there, that pain doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. One of the main ways the book explains its ideas is by using real letters from real people. These letters are messy. They contradict themselves. They are full of shame, desire, anger, and fear. Some letter writers behave badly. Some hurt others. Some don't know what they want. Sugar doesn't clean them up. She doesn't turn them into perfect examples. She lets them be complicated, because real people are complicated. By responding to specific lives instead of general problems, the book makes its ideas feel real. When Sugar talks about responsibility, it's not an abstract concept. It's a woman deciding whether to leave a marriage. It's a man reckoning with betrayal. It's a person choosing whether to keep living after loss. Responsibility becomes something lived, not preached. Another core way the book explains its ideas is through radical honesty. Sugar is not distant or neutral. She brings her whole self into the conversation. She talks openly about her mother's death, her drug use, her sexual history, her mistakes, and her grief. This isn't done to shock or to seek attention. It's done to remove hierarchy. She is not above the letter writer. She is not wiser because she is cleaner or purer. She is wiser because she has lived, failed, and survived. By telling the truth about her own life, Sugar shows that honesty is not about confession or punishment. It's about connection. When she admits her flaws, the reader feels less alone in theirs. The book explains that healing doesn't come from hiding your worst parts. It comes from bringing them into the light without judgment. The book also explains its ideas by refusing false comfort. This is important. Many advice books exist to soothe. They reassure. They say everything happens for a reason, or that love conquers all, or that time heals everything. Tiny Beautiful Things does not do this. Sugar often tells people things they don't want to hear. She tells them that some marriages should end, that some parents will never change, that some losses will never make sense, that some dreams will never happen. This refusal to lie is one of the book's deepest moral positions. It teaches that hope built on denial is fragile. Real strength comes from facing what is actually true, even when that truth hurts. The book explains this not by arguing for it, but by practicing it again and again. Each honest answer becomes evidence. Empathy is another core idea, and it's explained almost entirely through tone. Sugar does not speak coldly or clinically. Her voice is warm, intimate, and direct. She calls people sweet pea and darling, but she doesn't infantilize them. She respects their intelligence and their agency. Even when she challenges them, she does so with care. This tone teaches empathy as a way of being, not a concept. The reader learns how to listen simply by hearing how Sugar listens. She reflects people back to themselves. She names their pain without exaggerating it. She doesn't rush to fix them. This shows that empathy is not about having the right words, it's about being present and honest. The book also explains responsibility in a very specific way. Sugar often says that you may not be at fault for what happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do next. This idea could easily sound harsh, but in the book, it feels freeing. That's because it's paired with compassion. Responsibility is never framed as blame. It's framed as power. Sugar explains that you don't need to wait for others to change in order to live differently. You don't need permission to choose yourself. Through many letters, the reader sees people stuck in pain because they are waiting for an apology, an explanation, or a transformation that may never come. Sugar gently but firmly redirects them back to their own choices. Boundaries are another idea the book explains through lived examples. Sugar often supports people who are considering leaving relationships, going no contact with family, or choosing solitude over harm. She doesn't frame boundaries as cruelty, she frames them as self-respect. The book shows that staying is not always brave. Sometimes leaving is the bravest. Forgiveness is not always healing. Sometimes distance is. These ideas are explained by walking through the emotional cost of staying versus leaving, not by giving rules. The reader is trusted to feel the truth rather than be told it. Love in Tiny Beautiful Things is never clean or safe. Love is explained as something that requires courage. Loving someone means risking loss. Caring deeply means opening yourself to pain. The book doesn't suggest avoiding love to avoid suffering. It suggests that a life without love is a deeper kind of suffering. This idea is explained through stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and longing. Sugar doesn't dismiss these experiences as mistakes. She treats them as evidence of aliveness. Even when love ends badly, it mattered. It changed you. That matters too. One of the quiet but powerful ideas in the book is that desire is not shameful. Many letters come from people, especially women, who feel guilty for wanting more love, more sex, more freedom, more meaning. Sugar doesn't tell them to shrink themselves. She helps them listen to their desire instead of fearing it. Desire becomes information, not a flaw. By taking it seriously, the book teaches readers to take themselves seriously. The structure of the book also explains its ideas. There is no straight path, no progress bar, no final mastery. The same themes return again and again in different forms. Grief appears in many shapes. Love fails in many ways. Courage looks different for different people. This repetition teaches that life doesn't move in clean arcs. Understanding comes in waves. Over time, certain phrases begin to echo. Be brave, tell the truth, you already know. These aren't slogans, they are reminders. The book explains that wisdom is not about discovering something new, it's about remembering what you've been avoiding. Another important way the book explains its ideas is by trusting the reader. Sugar doesn't over-explain. She doesn't protect readers from discomfort. She believes they can handle complexity. She allows contradictions to exist. You can forgive and still leave. You can accept your pain and still want more. You can love someone and not choose them. This refusal to simplify is itself a lesson. It teaches that life is not solved by choosing the right side, but by learning how to live inside tension without numbing yourself. The book also explains hope in a different way than most self-help books. Hope is not presented as optimism. It's not about believing things will turn out well. Hope is presented as endurance, as staying open, as continuing to show up even when you are unsure. Many letters end not with reassurance, but with an invitation to act, leave, stay, speak, stop lying, begin again. These endings ground the book's ideas in movement. They remind the reader that insight matters most when it changes how you live. What makes Tiny Beautiful Things powerful is that it doesn't try to fix people. It meets them. It treats their pain as meaningful. It treats their lives as worthy of attention. In doing so, it explains its ideas through respect. By the time you reach the end of the book, you haven't been taught a system, you haven't been given a checklist. What you've learned is how to sit with truth, how to listen, how to be kinder without being dishonest, how to